Hi, Colin. I had a thought the other day, and I wasn't sure where to put it because I don't know if I've got an episode in it, but I just wanted to tell someone, and it's probably been done a million times, and I'm, just treading water really inelegantly. But I was just thinking about hit points, and I know they're an abstraction and all of this kind of thing. I know all about that. But it just suddenly hit me that letting people get hit points back because they've had a sleep or a meal is just kind of bull. Because if you're bleeding out of your arm, it doesn't really... A meal doesn't really help you, does it? I don't know. See you.
Hello, I'm Colin Green, and you are listening to Spike Pit.
And here I am talking about something that probably has more to do with realism, some ridiculous sense of realism or simulationism or something, which, as you know, I really don't believe in that much. It's not important to me, so I don't know what it is. I don't know what to do with that thought, really. It's about game design. It's about system structure. Even if it does seem to be about, does something make sense or not? Is it realistic or not? God knows. I don't know. Confused. Yours sincerely, Confused in Bavaria. Bye.
So I had this idea a little while ago about getting rid of hit points and using a usage die type mechanic. The idea is, instead of chugging down your hit points, every time your character gets a hit, you roll a usage die, and if you fail it, then you essentially lose a usage die, or if you've got to the bottom of the tank, you're dead. So the idea is that as you go up in level, you can gain more and more usage dies size. So I basically modelled the whole thing against AD&D just to see how I wanted to sort of track against that as a sort of marker. Put it up on Reddit, and it's quite interesting about social media, isn't it? If people like something, they'll just say, great, I like it, or don't say anything at all. But what you do find out is a lot of people come out the woodwork to tell you why they don't like a mechanic. It's not so much... I don't always think it's often about feedback. It's just like, I'm going to tell you why I don't like this mechanic. It's like, well, okay, don't use it. I'm not the RPG police. I'm not getting rid of your hit points. Anyway, but I think the main criticism that people had is like, oh, look, it's so complicated. You've got all these like numbers, and you got your usage die has a variable target number depending on level and class. And I was like, well, that's true if you look at the totality of the table. But guess what? Most people have one character. So all you do is you replace the max hit point box and the current hit point box with one, maybe two, possibly three usage dice boxes, and you write your target number in there. And so most of the time you're just rolling, say you're a high level character, you'd have a D8, a D6 and a D4 box. And as you go up in level, as you jump to the next usage die, the current target number becomes fixed. So it's just like, well, okay, so I've got 3 usage die, I've got a D8, and I've got to roll, say 4 and over. And if I lose that, then I go down to a D6, and I need to say roll, I don't know, for argument, let's just say again 3 over. And then you finally get, and if you're a fighter and a high enough level, I've introduced a D. Did I do D4 already? If you're high enough and you're a fighter, you get a fortitude roll, so you get a bonus D2 at the end. Anyway, the idea is get rid of hit points. You just track it with usage die, and the idea is it's meant to have that dynamic and sort of, dare I say, scary it counts kind of thing that usage die bring in, so that this really matters. And I wouldn't even say it's not that you're not getting wounded when you get hit. What's happening is that it's not significant enough to be a quantum jump in health down, because like hit points, a 10th level fighter with 70 hit points is not taking 10, it's not taking 10 gut shots, is he, with a sword. The idea is that stamina and health and endurance and nicks and scratches and cuts, because human beings aren't actually like infinitely tough, and they get like, you know, abs that are 30, you know, that are so hard they're like steel. It's, you know, it's hit points is an abstract concept. And this is to mimic the same thing. You are transitioning between one usage die and the next, and every time you pass, in theory, you're getting closer and closer to the next drop until it happens. And I think what I quite like about the usage die, in theory, when you get down to that lowest level, you might take, if you're really, really lucky, you could take 10 shots and survive just by passing usage die. So, you know, the maths was a bit tricky. I modelled in Excel. I just ran like 1,000 simulations against each character level for each usage die. Because I think it's tricky to work this out, because if you even have 1 in 4 chance of passing, it's not just 1 in 4 you got to think about. It's 1 in 4 the time you pass, and then 1 in 4 of the 1 in 4 you pass, and then 1 in 4 of the 1 in 4 and the 1 in 4 you can pass. So there's like a infinite tail that you need to add up. And obviously with the 1 in 4, that tail is quite steep. But if you're doing a D8 and you're got, say, 7 out of 8 chance of passing, then that tail can go for a while. In some ways, it's still a thought experiment. You know, what do you do about healing? Because the quantum jumps up and down are large, so the healing has to be similarly different. So I'd say the idea I've come up with is that to shift a usage die up or down, you have to roll under the target number. So if you like, healing, so going up or down has the same probability. So a healing spell, you know, if you've only got a 1 in 6 chance of being wounded, well, you've only got a 1 in 6 chance of being healed upwards, and so that can help balance out the healing. And again, it's that quantum shift. It's not the healing spell hasn't worked; it's just hasn't shifted you far enough. So yes, there's a bit of gamesmanship there. What about, you know, you get hit with a tree trunk that does 2 to 12 damage? Well, you know, I would say that counts as 2 standard hits, if you like. So you have to make 2 saves on your usage die. You know. Roll d6, did I pass? Yes. Roll again, did I pass? No. Drop a usage die. In a way, it brings a bit more danger to each attack, and also I think it simulates, dare I say, more real life, where, you know, a goblin with a short sword may stab a 10th of fire 10 times and get lucky and kill them, but that just can't happen in hit point method. It's just statistically they can only do, you know, 6 times or 24 hit points of damage, and the fighter has 50. It can't happen. But with a usage die, if you were really unlucky, it could happen.
Standing in today for Old Spike Pit, we heard from Barney of Loco Ludus, wondering about the whole concept of hit points. Should we substitute them for something else? And hot on his heels with an answer, a segment taken from Mr. Henchman's very own podcast, Goblin's Henchman. It was the man himself with his usage die for hit points. Now, I have got my own thoughts, but as I've been substituted in this episode by these 2 fine podcasters, I will have to leave that for another occasion. In the meantime, thanks for holding the fort, guys. I owe you one. And that, as they say, is a wrap. Big thanks goes out to you, the listener, for taking a bit of time out of your day to listen to Old Spike Pit. Take care, and I'll catch you later.